How you guys doing? Josh here with Ohio Fish Rescue. This is something you guys have not seen much of in a very long time. But look at this mess. I think we got to do something about this. Man, oh man. So first off, let me get to this Bellagio tank. You can see this one looks great over here because there's only a few fish in it. We've got the two little parrotfish. We've got some cigar barbs. We've got a kissing gourami. We've got an African leaf fish in here somewhere. There's some clown loaches hiding. But this beauty right here. This is an African arowana. He is just over 20 inches or so. I have not put in the tape on it, so this is just a guesstimate. But this beauty right here came all the way from Matt's Monster Fish. He had actually rescued a bunch of fish down by him, and this was one of the fish that was in with that group. The second I seen it, I knew my dad had to have it, so I tried buying it off Matt, and he was like, absolutely not. I want to give it to Big Rich. And he came up and he donated this fish. If you guys would like to check out the story, check out Matt's Monster Fish's channel. And he is back into making videos. And he brought this one up to us for the kickoff. So you guys know this is the Bellagio tank, 20 foot long, 3 foot wide, 4 foot tall. These are not on our system yet. Same thing with this Bellagio tank here, the African cichlid tank. These filters are just god-awful looking on the front of this tank. So today I decided just to hook up the overflows and get these plumbed into the system. The pump side will not be fixed because we still have to do the work that I was talking about with the pool. So we're going to put a temporary pump up to it, but the drains will be fixed permanently. I will have to cut them and redo them once we put the other pool in, but that's something I can live with. So we went up to Home Depot. I bought a big bag of fittings. Now let's see how I have to crawl underneath all these tanks and figure out how we're doing this drain pipe on these Bellagio tanks. So to rope you back into an earlier project, I know you guys were following this a few months back, but each side of this tank is an overflow and an overflow hooked up. There's 3 bulkheads on each one. Say this one right here, I went ahead and just used it for a drain. We blocked the other 2 and we have a 2-inch drain coming out. So that means there's an 1.5-inch feed line coming all the way over to this side. And then we're going in on this overflow where we have the other 2 blocked off. We're using an 1.5 inch, comes up through the filter box or skimmer box, comes out on the top right here. So I got to basically take something from here and tee it off into both of these bulkheads so it can have a flow in. It flows through and exits on that side. Same thing with this tank. It comes in on this far right side. I have a valve to adjust it, and the drain is over there. So this drain comes out of this Bellagio, comes down, elbows over, and runs all the way back here. I have it shut off right down here with a valve. I'm basically going to be taking the 2-inch one here, elbow down and over. I'm going to tee it in with this 2-inch here, and then we will be good to go on that. It'll basically have a tee to a few elbows. We're going to have to drill a hole through this stand. We're going to have to come through this stand, through the stand on that side, and then underneath this 550 and into that glue pool. It sounds crazy, but I promise you it's going to work out pretty miraculously. So stay tuned and we'll see how this tank looks after it's plumbed in and has fresh clean water rolling through it. So maybe we can get some of these FX5s out of here, or maybe hide them back in that corner. So we shall see. Alright, so I've got my Sawzall, I've got my fittings, my tape measure, I've got my hole saw, because I'm going to have to drill holes through the stand. So I'm basically going to get my big self back there. I got to crawl underneath this tiny little stand here. Big man fitting in small places. This is one of my least favorite things to do. Oh. Now, if you guys want to see how this turns out, go and check out OFR behind the scenes on our second channel. Okay, so the hard part's over. I've got the T glued on. This is all glued through here up to the bulkhead. Now this was hard because I had this glued as one. I had to glue this joint and this joint at the same time. So I put glue on it, shoved it up in there, turned it, put it into this socket. Now I'm basically going to take a 90 out of here and basically go right through this stand, and then it's a couple elbows, and then the drain is hooked up, and we shall be done. All right, all right, all right. We are done here. That T's glued on, the 2-inch bulkhead's glued on, we got the elbow glued on. I brought it over through this stand. As you can see, I brought it uphill, and I was going to try and make it a one-shot, but I overdid the calculations and it wasn't enough. So we got it coming over here. I had to elbow it up and into the pond. I wanted to do it right in one shot, so I wanted this to be up here, but that angle was just not enough, and it was kind of hard to do because I was going through a stand and guesstimating where a 10-foot pipe would end up. But nonetheless, it's done. Now all I have to do is go in the pond and glue this in, and then we can let this dry and turn on some water. Okay, so you can see the water is on. It is flowing out of this drain pipe we just installed. As you can see, it's coming in way up on the top, so it should never get up, overflow and flow out. Our level usually comes up to about right there and stops. We will be hooking up an overflow drain onto this pool though, once we replace it with the newer pool outside. So this is temporary, but we'll just hook all this stuff back up. But for the time being, look at this tank. Oh my goodness. This is how it's going to look from now on. It'll actually get a little bit more buffered than this when we get the normal pump on, because it'll be more volume of water rolling through it. But I just turned this pump on last night, and I came out this morning. As you can see, all the fish tank lights are still off. So yeah, this is just one night, couple hours of the pump running, and this tank already looks a world of difference. Kind of just wild right now. You can see some of the colors on these cichlids are just so nice. Look at that Venustus right there. It's definitely one of my favorites in this tank. Everyone is just looking real nice. We got Diesel out here chewing on a stick. I'm cleaning up my mess from last night, putting all the tools away, and Diesel's over here chewing on a little piece of wood. But I just wanted to give you guys a little look-see at what these fish look like now that they are on the system. Man, does this tank look pretty. Now I gotta work on getting these FX5s out of here. Like I said, I'm gonna put them underneath the stands and in the corner, so these hosings will be hidden. This guy is pretty awesome. Definitely a great addition. Can't thank Matt enough. Just a beautiful fish. Now, you know what else this means? Now that this plumbing's hooked up, and I can get this tank onto this system as well as soon as I add a pump onto it. So what I'm going to do is take the inlet from here and tee it off, and then both of these tanks will be getting fed water and on their filtration as well. So I can bring all the fish from the 1,000 that I want in here and basically fill this Bellagio tank, and then give some other fish an upgrade to the 1,000. So we've been moving a lot of fish around lately, but it is all coming together and looking pretty great if you ask me. So today's job, I'm not going to bore you guys with showing me move some filters around. Today's job is moving these filters and getting these back to a showpiece quality tank. Okay, so I just searched for about the last half hour. Laying around parts I come up with this contraption right here. Some of you might ask, well, what is this? Okay, you see right here, this is our feed pipe coming into the tank temporarily. Now this right here is a Y splitter. So this is going to go into that feed pipe. This is going to come into the cichlid tank. This hose is going to run all the way over to that Bellagio tank and get that on the system now, since the plumbing is already hooked up. Now I had to use this turn-off valve and a pipe right there to connect them together because I only had short runs of the hosing. Figured I'd use scraps I had laying around instead of going up and wasting money and buying more. So we have boxes and boxes of parts and scraps, and we pretty much make what we need. So now I'm going to get this hooked up. I'm going to get the water flowing over to this next Bellagio tank. Okay, so on second thought, we're going to go ahead and just start working on plumbing these guys in more permanently. So if you remember, I have an 1.5 inch return line plumbed up through the skimmer. If we look on top here, this is basically capped. This here is the return line. The drain is down in the bottom on that side. 2-inch drain, 1.5 inch return here. So I basically have to come up here, 90 it over, tee it off into both of these jets right here. This one's going to go in this hole, and it's basically going to squirt in this side of the tank, run through, drain out over there. Now same thing on this tank. You have a 2-inch drain, which is actually capped on the return side on both tanks. And you have 2.5 inch bulkheads. One is just capped, one is ran through for the return line. You're going to have the same deal on this tank, ran to both of these jets right here. Swoosh all the way through the tank, drain out on this side. 2-inch drain, the other two are capped. So I'm going to run up to Home Depot and grab some more fittings so I can start working on this. But let's see some more fish while we're at it. So this tank here, I told you all the fish from the 1,000 gallon will be coming over as soon as it's on the system. So that would be coming any day now. So we come over here, bam, 1,000 gallon. Basically, majority of these fish will be going in here. Probably not the fire eels, but the silver dollars, the ballast sharks, and the seer, the other kissing gouramis, the flagtails, the filamentosa barbs, African scats, what else? This Bricon dentex, Chinese algae eater, parrotfish, iridescent shark, probably not go over there, he'll probably get too banged up. I will put the cigar barb over there, tinfoil barbs, other leaf fish, clown loaches, we got pictus cats, what else? I'm sure there's a bunch more things hiding in here that will go over, but all of these fish here will eventually be in that Bellagio tank here in the next week or two, I'd say. So we shall see. So sadly, every video does have to come to an end. So I'm going to continually work on these tanks. Plumbing will be coming, all the return lines. The fish will be stocked in here, and these will be completely on the system. They temporarily kind of are, but I want to make this more of a permanent solution. You guys can see these backgrounds here. Let us know in the comments which background you like better. Do you want us to stay with the white wall, want to go black background, or go with blue? So let us know your suggestion in the comments. Then we're going to put a background on this Bellagio tank with the cichlids in it, and maybe do another color over there, or leave this one white. I don't know. We're just toying with the ideas. But next step, finish moving these filters. But when we do that, we're going to go ahead and clean all the filters around the rescue. So there will be another video on that. You guys can see the behind the scenes. So for those of you that don't know, we did start a second channel. It is called OFR, Behind the Scenes. We will link that channel in the description, and you guys will see a little bit more of raw and uncut, uncensored footage on that channel. Stuff that we normally don't show here that people have been asking for. So go ahead and go over and check it out. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys want to see more crazy adventures with the Ohio Fish Rescue, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, stay fishy, my friend.